Hey guys, something happening with my hair right now because I was whipping it around because I was stressed and irritated. And then I'm fine. I'm fine now. I've calmed down. I will be doing another thing when Baxter is at the sailboat, and he has successfully been in the crate for almost 8 hours. So by the time I finish this and pick him up, it will be 8 hours. And he, well, last I checked on him was 2 hours ago, and he was sleeping in his thing and being very good. He's been really good and chill for probably the last 6 hours. The first 2 or so were a little rough, but I think it's going to be a successful flight, hopefully. So, and I did not let him out to go to the bathroom because I wanted to see how he did. So the longest stretch would be 10 hours. So I think I'll explain in the cat taming thing. I think we'll have a couple of chapters left, so I'm going to read those with Bax when I get back to the boat. And we're wrapping up Christian with bipolar disorder today. There's 2 chapters left, and then we are done. And then we will be starting new books, which I will be announcing probably in Europe because I don't have time to do them. Okay, Christian with bipolar disorder. Chapter 11, there's a passage at the beginning which normally doesn't have that. Is this the end of the last one? Oh, this was 2 Corinthians 13 verse 14 was supposed to be the end of the last one. For whatever reason, printed weird in his self-published book. Okay, so chapter 11 is coping with stigma. Blessed are you when they revile and persecute you and say all kinds of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Matthew 5, verse 11 to 12. Sometimes good intentions hurt. Samuel is a seasoned gospel preacher. He knows how to minister to the hurting. His sermons are polished and edifying to all listeners. The brethren at the Donny church love him. The congregation has grown from 75 to 100 members strong in just over a year, largely to his constant evangelistic efforts. Then it happens. Samuel, under the stress of financial tensions at home, is triggered into bipolar depression. At first, it is moderate, and he is able to continue his labor of love. As each day passes, however, he sinks further and further until his depression is severe. Members of the church are beginning to ask questions. Are you all right, Samuel? I'm just fatigued, he lies. As Samuel's work slows, the concern of his overseers increases. By the time the monthly church leaders meeting arrives, his pastoral care is at a standstill. His usually excellent sermons are diminishing in quality because of his lack of study and enthusiasm behind the pulpit. The overseers call a special meeting to learn what's going on. They meet 1 hour before the leaders' meeting. What have you been doing with your time, they ask. I've been sick, Samuel replies. The sniffles have never affected your work before. I'm depressed, Samuel reluctantly confesses. We've all been depressed from time to time, Samuel. You will be okay, but you're going to have to pull things together before vacation Bible school. Yes, sir, but you don't know something. I've been carrying a secret illness that I may have to go into the hospital for if it doesn't improve. Samuel is now shaking as he is about to let the cat out of the bag. Brothers, I have bipolar disorder. The overseers took it better than he anticipated. Samuel, we're your overseers, and there should never be secrets of this magnitude between us. It's that big of a deal, but okay, assholes. How may we help you? I need your prayers, and I will go see the doctor. At that, the meeting was concluded. Now comes the leaders' meeting. It was comprised of the men of the congregation. The church believes men are to be the leaders because the Bible teaches they are the head of their households. 1 Corinthians 11, verse 3. I think some take it a little too far personally. I'm going to have playful commentary through all of this. Very colorful because I'm in that kind of mood. It's a principal tradition long held in the Donny church. The hell is a Donny church? I've never heard of this kind of church. Donny church. Denim church. It keeps giving me denim clothes. Thanks a lot, Google. You're an idiot. Or I don't get this. Blue Jean Church, San Antonio, and New Hope United. I don't understand. I don't get it. This is the dumbest Google search I've ever seen before, or they're making this up. I don't get it. And it's literally spelled like denim jeans. And then when I'm searching it in Google, that's all that's coming up. And then okay, the meeting ran as meetings do. Financial reports are given and the budget is discussed. The grass mowing schedule is updated as to who will do it and when. Who will orchestrate the order of work? Who will orchestrate the order of the worship? Literally want to copy edit all of this, is decided for the following quarter. Never self-publish a book. Just saying, guys. This is it's cheap, but at least pay for someone to edit it for you. I'm just throwing that out there because this is very unprofessional. I don't even know where I am. I'm so irritated by this editing issue. Okay, I don't even know where I am. The meeting ran as meetings do. Also spelled incorrectly. It's literally gonna cringe every single time I see it. I'm gonna take a fucking red pen out and start correcting it right now for this moron. Financial reports are given and the budget discussed. The grass mowing schedule is updated as to who will do it and when. Who will orchestrate the order of the worship is decided for the following quarter. Then, as the meeting closes, the overseer of the month leads the men in prayer, and dear Lord, please bless Samuel as he goes to see the doctor about his bipolar disorder. That seemingly harmless and certainly sincere prayer ignited a chain of events that would steal away Samuel's work permanently. Feeling quite down, Samuel leaves as soon as the meeting closes. The men, however, stay and socialize as is their custom. They talk about Samuel and how grateful they are to have him. Then it begins. What is bipolar disorder? Ignorance is the number one cause of stigma. It really is. You should read shit that people post on my Facebook page that I end up unfriending or blocking, or they unfriend or block me because I can't even fucking believe I'm associated with people who are that fucking ignorant and unbelievably disrespectful. And I literally want to fuck them, honestly. Okay, my mother has it. It was bad growing up. One says this one's mother never took medication. She would go into these wild rages, smoked crack, and had so many men in her bed I lost count. Bad experiences stimulate apprehension. It does. By the time Samuel gets to the church building Sunday morning, the entire congregation has heard about his illness. Of course, because that's what happens in a church. Family. Some members are comforting, some not. When he stands behind the lectern, a sister sitting nearby immediately gets up and moves several pews back. Wow. Good job, guys. Way to be Christian. She is heard in a loud whisper. I can't sit near him. What if he loses it? Fucking bitch. He who holds the purse holds a church. 2 rich members of the congregation lost their confidence in Samuel and conspire to get rid of him. Demon-possessed psychopaths. That's who's sitting next to this poor man. They threaten the overseers that they will change churches if they don't cut Samuel loose. With an already weak budget, they cave. Satan steals the show. He uses everything in his arsenal to stop the productivity of God's workers. If he can convince Christians their minister is tainted in some way, they will lose faith in him. He will have to move on. Stigma is something that detracts from the character or reputation of a person, group, etc. Mark of disgrace or reproach. That's according to Webster's New Dictionary and Thesaurus. For any morons who don't know what stigma is. Even their own brethren sometimes persecute fellow Christians living with manic depressive illness in this way. The truth of the matter is, our condition does not define who we are or what our character is. Amen. What is more important is not what other people think of us, but what God thinks of us. So we have bipolar. So what? Would you tell somebody they are a bad person because they have diabetes, Cancer? Oh, no, absolutely not. We have to educate our fellows. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Hosea 4 verse 6. We read that in one of the Bible readings. Like, literally avoid stupid people. The Bible says that. Ignorance is the first cause of stigma. People, frankly, don't understand what bipolar illness is or that it is treatable. These breeds fear. That which resides in the realm of the unknown is scary to some people, and their anxiety turns them judgmental. Of course it does. People have been fed the myth that all mentally ill people are crazy. Motion pictures feed this stigma because it sells. Deranged people are portrayed as monsters and villains. Again, giving healthy bipolar individuals the same image as those who do not comply psychiatric treatment. We do it ourselves too. If we are in the habit of not taking medicine and we relapse into an episode, especially mania, we taint our own reputation in the eyes of those around us. This guy is very pro-meds. 2, if we practice immoral behaviors, we define ourselves as hypocrites. It is within us to prove to the world that we may lead normal and healthy lives just as much as the next guy. And it sucks that we have to prove that simply because we have a mental illness, which is basically the same thing as a physical illness. Most importantly, we accept that we cannot coerce people into changing their opinions. It is uncommon for everybody to like us, whether we are bipolar or not. Don't expect all people everywhere to like you. They didn't all like Jesus, and they won't all like us. Letting the world into our stigmatized world is not always bad. We're not all public figures like Samuel, and not all of God's churches are like Denham. Being open about having bipolar allows us the freedom to gain edifying love and support from others. We can educate them. We can set the example of being a genuinely Christ-like person who is battling a brain disease. Opening up gives others the opportunity to support us when we are down and patiently treat us with kindness while manic. I will say to this, it is not your responsibility to make other people show compassion to you. That's their fucking problem. If they have a problem because they are ignorant and you've tried and they're still not making any, fuck them, honestly. Wash your hands of that asshole. Move on with your life. Because you should not have to work that hard. So fuck them. Okay, in truth, stigma will not end until the majority of us take a stand. Band together and show Satan who really runs the show. The choice is liberating. We no longer have to hide. After all, a friend loves at all times. Proverbs 17, verse 17. Okay, chapter 12, healing with Jesus. Wait, is that the right one? Yeah, we're on 12. Okay, healing with Jesus. So he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up to read. And he was handed the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord." Then he closed the book and gave it back to the attendant and sat down. And the eyes of all who were in the synagogue were fixed on him. And he began to say to them, "Today this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing." Luke 4, verse 16 to 21. We are survivors. Hell yes. Undoubtedly, Satan has afflicted us with a horrible disease. Bipolar disorder is not for the faint-hearted. It is not from the illness itself that we seek healing, though that would be a great blessing. And certainly, it is not beyond the power of God. Odds are, however, we will struggle with this ailment for the remainder of our lives. I disagree. Also, this is, how old is this? 2021. And it's Coppell, Texas. So I salute you, sir, for having a mental illness in this piece of shit third world fucking country that thinks it's a state of America. Okay. Bipolar disorder is not for the faint-hearted. It's not from the illness itself that we seek healing, though that would be a great blessing. And certainly it is not beyond the power of God. Odds are, however, we will struggle with this ailment for the remainder of our lives. No, you will not. We, like the Apostle Paul, have a thorn. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly, I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Second, Colossians or Corinthians, this guy needs to work on how he whatever. 12 verse 9. That all sufficient grace is where we rest in our weakness. Jesus has experienced emotional upheaval, Matthew 27 verse 46, John 11 verse 35. He understands our suffering. We go to him for consoling, and he is there. The soothing mercy comes when we need it most. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11 verse 28. The same temptations we experience, he has known too. For we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses, but was in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin. Hebrews 4 verse 15. We must trust Jesus. Take our spirit by the hand. He leads us through the valley of fear and doubt, living our heart to heaven's highest level. Our high priest intercedes with the Father of mercies and God of all comfort. 2 Corinthians 1 verse 2. See, he spells that one out, but whatever. Reigning in our hearts. He has truly become the Lord of our life. We have faith in him because he has faith in us. Jesus is our best friend. He loves us like an older brother, sheltering a little sister. Hebrews 2 verse 11. Actually, as a member of the Lord's church, we are married to him. She is his virgin bride. Revelation 21 verse 2. He cares for us with unconditional love. He cares for us with unconditional love and unmerited favor. Think of the sacrifice for the death that he died. He died to sin once for all, but the life that he lives to God. Romans 6 verse 10. In Christ we have become living sacrifices. Romans 12 verse 1. Every good thing we do or even think glorifies the one who has set us free. We are living letters bearing testimony to the healing in our souls. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 2. Everywhere we go, sick or not, we impart light to the dark world. Philippians 2 verse 15. Jesus is alive in us. John 15 verse 4. And as much as we allow him to work through us, Christians living with bipolar may become one of the most potent forces for God good on earth. The people who stand in darkness have seen a great light, and upon those who sat in the region in shadow of death, light has dawned. Matthew 4 verse 16 bibliography. The National Institute of Mental Health, I'm going to put all these links, but basically it says Donny Weimar has worked with many people with mental illnesses. He has bipolar disorder and fights to win over stigma. Donny has a wife and 3 children. His wife is an accomplished vocal musician. Donny has worked as a gospel preacher for more than 20 years. His children are brilliant, making straight A's. The youngest has skipped ahead 1 grade, is an avid reader. Donny, I love your book. If you write another one, I will help you copy edit it. Not for free though. So like I will be your editor because I can't go through another one of these with your editing mistakes. But this is very good. I think you did a good job. I think it's a little old school. But also you wrote this in 2021 in Texas, and this is literally mental health is treated like it's in the 1950s here. They're that far backwards up their asses in this fucking state. So I salute you for surviving this bullshit. I'm getting the fuck out of here and moving back to Wisconsin, and then I'm going to probably move to Europe because I'm fucking done with America after the shit that this fucking state has put me through this year. Anyway, so I hope everybody enjoyed Donny's book. Donny, if you ever see these videos, thank you for letting us go through it. I loved your book. I thought it was really good. I'm honored that I was able to share with everybody, and I hope you're okay with it and there wasn't like a copyright issue involved in that, because I honestly haven't been looking that up when I've been reading these books, and I probably should be doing that. But I've been crediting everything, so I think it's okay. But I don't want people to be discouraged from purchasing them for you. So if there's something I need to do to help you get income for this, but I'm hoping it's encouraging people and spreading your message and not pissing you off that I'm giving your book out for free to people on YouTube. So I'm not getting any money for it. If I start to make money off of this, I will give you some for the views you received. So thanks you guys for watching and listening. about Christian with bipolar disorder. Tune into Bipolar Journalista for more information on Facebook and on here. And on my website's kind of not existent right now, so I wouldn't even worry about that. It's kind of a moot point. So we'll be starting we'll be doing another bipolar book next. My favorite, my bipolar workbook that I came up with a really good system that I'll show you guys. Well, just go on Facebook. You'll see it. I'm not going to put it on here too. So a really good system for monitoring moods when I needed to do that, but I don't have to do that anymore. I'm not at that point anymore. I disagree. You're not going to have mental illness for the rest of your life, especially if you pray for God to help you restore your mental health. It's as simple as that. Just like you can ask him to restore your physical health, and if he might help you with that. So prayer is very powerful. So I highly recommend doing that. And you need to do a lot of work in therapy and do a lot of research and educate yourself, but always be your own advocate. Unfortunately, with mental illness, that's just how it is. Unfortunately, I feel like there are barbaric periods in every generation, and I feel like mental illness has come leaps and bounds, but it's not quite there yet. It still has very strong stigma, and people are not treating it. This includes treatment of it. So medication is valued, and psychiatrists are valued over therapists, which is very frustrating to me and to any other person, because your therapist is the person who knows you best, who is spending the most time with you, who is helping you the most. The psychiatrist is giving you the Band-Aid to just mask it over and make you numb. And the longer you are on it, the less effective it is. And then they tell you need to increase, or you need to add more, or this or that. And there's side effects. There's all kinds of other fucking shit. And if you have Sjogren's syndrome or something like me, where you have an autoimmune disease, where you're extremely sensitive to medication and you react to literally everything, it's not even an option for you. You have to do diet and exercise and other things like supplements. Like you can't take medication. I did for many years. I've tried every single one except the one that jacks up my fucking kidneys, because I plan on donating them to two of my friends. So, well, one of them to whichever one goes into kidney failure first for healing. Anyway, so I refused to take something that was gonna harm my chance of giving them a kidney down the road, which when they both told me they were diagnosed with it, I told them that they could have one of my kidneys if they needed it. That was our agreement. When they told me it's been like 20 years now since you guys got diagnosed, and they're still alive, and they're still doing well, and one of them even had a baby since then, and they're okay. So that's what's going on with that. And that's my personal journey, and you need to respect that. Don't hear about one bad situation or another. Every person is different. Everybody's mental health journey is different, and a lot of it's 75% environmental. It's not even hereditary or genetic, which a lot of people excuse it as. If you have one fucked up person in your family who's abusing you because they have a mental illness that's untreated, you're also going to develop a mental illness because you are being traumatized as well. So it's a family issue, and for your fucking family who helped spawn your mental illness to not even support you, to not even help you or be a caregiver for you or get on board and try to understand you, fuck that. Walk the fuck away. Like, try and love them and be Christian about it. But if you've been doing this for decades and they're still traumatizing you and they're still not fucking taking responsibility and getting help their fucking selves, get the fuck out of there. I moved from Wisconsin to Texas, and now I'm probably going to move to fucking Europe after I have a short hiatus with the fucking assholes that I ran away from in the fucking first place. Just saying. Because I need to go back because my grandma died, and I need to be around support right now because I got a divorce. And it's been a nightmare fucking year in modern day fucking Gotham City in Corpus Christi, Texas. So that's all I have for today, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye.